Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to show you how to schedule a Zoom meeting. There are a couple of ways you can do it. One is through the Zoom website, and the other is through the Zoom program on your computer. I'm going to start with the Zoom website, which is what you're looking at here. The website is zoom.us. And the first thing you would need is a Zoom account. I'll make a separate video about setting up an account if you don't already have one. For those of you who have only joined Zoom meetings in the past and never hosted one, I think it's likely that you don't have a Zoom account. But it's very easy to set one up. You can do it for free, and there is no time limit as long as your meetings are just between two people. The time limit kicks in with three or more people with a free account. Anyway, once you have logged into your account on the Zoom website, you will either see the home page, which looks like this, or you'll be on the My Account page. And I'm going to go to that now by clicking on My Account here in the top right. Okay. On this page, there are a number of things you can do. You can adjust a lot of settings. You can find your list of meetings that you have scheduled. To schedule a meeting, you can click on Schedule a Meeting here close to the top. Okay, so I'm going to click on that, and that takes me to the meeting scheduling page. Okay, let's take a look at the different sections here. The first one is Topic. This is like the title of the meeting. It really doesn't matter what you call it. You can call it English tutoring. You can put your name there. You can leave it as it is. It doesn't really matter. You can skip the description. Then you'll see a few lines for the date and time. The lines say when, duration, time zone. I would suggest skipping those, and instead I would suggest clicking on Recurring Meeting. Okay, when you click on Recurring Meeting, it brings up a few additional options, and we only need to worry about the first one that says Recurrence. Okay, so to the right of Recurrence, you'll see the word Daily. You click on that, and then you select No Fixed Time. No Fixed Time. When you do that, you'll see that a lot of those options disappear. This means that you can have the meeting anytime. There's no specific time for it, and the meeting link is not going to expire because it's recurring, which I think is ideal for for tutoring purposes. So this is what I recommend to all tutors: set up the meeting as a recurring meeting with no fixed time. That way, you can use the same link over and over, and the student can use the same link, just one link for every tutoring session. Okay. Below that, you'll see meeting ID, which I think you can leave as generate automatically. I would skip the template. Then there is security. It sets up a passcode for you automatically. You can change it, but I don't think that's really necessary. Most students don't need to enter the passcode because they're just clicking on the link, which has the passcode embedded in it. But if they needed to enter the passcode, I would suggest giving that to them as well. I would ignore the waiting room. I don't think that's necessary for most people. And then below that, you'll see a couple of options next to video. If they're not already selected as on, I would click on for both the host and the participant. And then finally, you'll see some additional options. I don't think that any of these are really that important for one-to-one tutoring, but you could, take a look at those if you want. Otherwise, just don't worry about it. Then you would click Save. Okay, so now the meeting has been scheduled, and there are options to add it to your calendar, which I don't think most people need to do. You can review the options that you've set up. I think the most important thing at this point is to get the invite link, which you see here. Okay, so you could just highlight it and copy it from this page if you know how to do that. But I think for some people, it's easier to click on copy invitation here on the right, and that brings up this this box where it says, you're inviting someone to a Zoom meeting. It has the link, it has the meeting ID and passcode. You may have received something like this before, for meetings that you have attended. At this point, I would click on Copy Meeting Invitation at the bottom. Okay, that copies copies all of this text to the clipboard on the computer. The clipboard is the place where the computer stores any text that you have copied, and that means that it's ready to be pasted. You can paste it into an email to send it to your student, and if you wanted, you could paste it somewhere else, like a document. But I think for most people, an email is sufficient. So I have a blank email open here. I'm just going to demonstrate pasting it. There are a few ways you can paste. One way is by clicking on Edit and then Paste. You can also use a keyboard shortcut or right-click and select Paste. So in this case, I went to Edit and then Paste, and now it's here in the email. I could change any of this text if I want, or add additional text, to send it to my student. I would enter their email address and then send it to them. Then they would be able to click on the link to join the meeting. I would make sure they know what time the meeting is, of course. So that's the basics of setting up a meeting through the Zoom website on your web browser. Okay. I'm also going to show you briefly what it would look like on the using the Zoom program on the computer. Getting to that will be a bit different depending on if you have a Mac or PC. In my case, I'm using a Mac right now, and I have the Zoom icon in my dock, which is the row of icons at the bottom. So I'm going to click on that Zoom icon, the blue one, blue and white, and it brings up the Zoom program. I've already logged in. If you're not logged in, it might ask you to log in. And so this has a home screen, which looks like this, and it has a meetings screen, which looks like this. I don't think most people need to concern themselves with the other ones that say chat and contacts and apps. From the home button, or clicking on the home button, you'll get to this screen. And here, what you can do is click on Schedule. This brings up basically the same options that we saw before. It just looks a little different. So I'm not going to go through all of them again, but the most important thing I would keep in mind is to select recurring meeting. If you're doing it this way, you don't need to select no fixed time. Just recurring meeting is fine. If you're on a Mac, I would, and you see the section for calendar, I would select other calendars, because in my experience, if you select iCal or Google Calendar, it can just make it more confusing. So other calendars is my recommendation there. Everything else I'm not going to bother changing or looking at right now. I'm going to click Save, and now I can click Copy Invitation to copy it to my clipboard, and then I could paste that into an email in the way that we just went over. Okay. To start the meeting, again, using the Zoom program on the computer, I would click on the Meetings tab and find the meeting. In this case, the one that I just set up is called Andrew Shapira's Zoom meeting. The one that I set up a couple of minutes ago was called English Tutoring. So I would click on it and then click on the Start button. Okay, that would start the Zoom meeting. It's also possible to click on the link that you have emailed to the student, and that should open up Zoom as well. So there are a few ways to do that. What I typically do is, I open up the Zoom program here, I go to Meetings, I find the meeting, and I click Start. In your case, if you only have one meeting scheduled, then it shouldn't be too hard to find. In my case, I have several different meetings here for different purposes. So that is pretty much it. I think that covers the basics of scheduling a meeting. If you have any questions, please contact me, and I hope this was helpful. Okay, thanks for watching.